Before we begin, thank you very much to El Corona, the hat which brings doom to all, for joining the Patreon campaign. One of my favorite over-the-top names to shout out. Welcome back to the Patreon campaign. By the way, when I shout out that name, it's not that Corona. It literally means the crown. So it is the crown, the hat which brings doom to all, which honestly is historically correct. But thank you very much for the contribution. Means the world to me. Very much so. Thank you very much. So, I'm going to keep it simple today because, one, I'm tired. I did not sleep well last night. And two, I have errands to run. So I cannot just sit here and wait for hours filming after the toy shop has closed down for the day. I just need to put the clothes sign up, film, and run. So we're going to do that today. But I'm going to be answering the one question everyone has been asking me for months now. So I want to officially confirm, yeah, as of right now, yes, I am going to TFcon Orlando. I sat in line waiting for one of the premium tickets to open back up. It did. I grabbed it. I'm going. And I'm excited. I've never been to a TFcon. The one Transformer convention I was ever able to get to was BotCon in 2010, before it went really bad. But, yeah, I've not really had the chance to go to a Transformers convention since. I was going to go the last time TFcon booked Orlando in 2020. So I didn't go to that one because it didn't exist. So I really do want to go to this one. I really do want to I want to experience it because BotCon was fun. I got to meet a lot of people, but one, I was a much smaller YouTuber at the time, and two, because it's such a an official spot, it felt like we were in our element, but there's still limitations, right? So I really want to see just how much TFcon feels different being 100% fan run, and also a place where the third party sector is celebrated, not buried or hindered. So it's gonna be, I feel like it's gonna be a very different vibe, right? So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to meet a lot of people, not only fans of the channel, because I've had people messaging going, I have friends I know who are going to be in the artist alley. I have friends that fans that have been commenting that they're going to be there. People from my local collecting circuits. I have those people that I know are going to go, which is weird because I think we're all just driving our own cars going to the same place, and then we're just driving back home. You'd think we'd carpool. You think we'd all carpool and save some money. But that is not going to happen as far as I know. There's still a question of how I'm going to get there myself, actually, because, hey, my car is still in the shop, and Mini Cooper parts are not cheap or easy to find. So that's fun. That's fun. But point being, I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of people. I'm looking forward to seeing other people in the YouTube spectrum of Transformers, because I will admit, I don't really put myself out there for other content creators to get to know. I will admit I'm very antisocial in that, I kind of hate bothering people and I hate messaging people. I'm one of those types that feels like if I message someone, I'm going to be interrupting them. I'm going to be interrupting something that they're doing. So I always feel bad about being the first one to message. So there's a lot of people I could potentially meet there that do what I do, and we kind of all do the same thing, but I don't actually know them. So I'd love to get to know them too. I know TFcon typically runs a content creator panel, and I would love to be on that if they open that up again. I was supposed to be on that panel in 2020. But at the very least, if not for my own stuff, then at least for the WTF and TFW representation, because typically when TFcon's in Canada, it's Homeland. When TFcon's up there, it's usually Vangelis that is actually doing, participating on that panel. And I know Aaron, the other co-host for WTF. He also has done hosting on that panel. So I'd like to be on. I would like to field some questions and talk to people. That does actually kind of lead me to something else I was kind of curious about. Could I actually get away with a meetup? Could I actually get a whole bunch of you to gather in one spot here at this convention and we just all go like, hi, it's me. Not that I want to show an ego to myself going like, yes, come see the great and powerful TJOmega in flesh as a normal mortal. I don't want to do that, but like I also I know a lot of people are going to want to meet me and say hi and hang out. Maybe a designated time for that. Maybe a designated time. You know what I would love to do? I'm actually getting in a day early. Like typically for conventions for me, I go ahead and I pay the extra day at the hotel to get there one day early because, well, I don't want to go straight from driving all the way to Orlando and then just jump straight into like running around the convention. I've done that before for MetroCon. It's exhausting. I find that I don't really enjoy the first day because I'm still recovering from the road. So I do want to take that into account. Also, I'm still considering it because it's an extra cost. I might sit in and get the ticket for the customizing class. And that's at like 9 in the morning. And asking me to be up at 9 in the morning is already a big ask. I am a night owl. But if I'm going to have any chance of doing that, I got to be there the night before. So it's like, that technically means in order to do the, I don't know why they do it so early in the morning. That makes no sense to me because the whole Friday is open up. So I don't know why they're not doing anything till like 5 p.m. on Friday. I don't know why they don't just go, well, yeah, at 4 p.m. we're doing the customizing panel. Why 9 in the morning? That means you either have to get up at the crack of dawn to get to the hotel, long before check-in, by the way, long before check-in, and then go do the customizing panel first thing in the morning, and then sit around and wait all morning until they get to like, like check-in time at hotels are usually like 2, 3 p.m. That seems weird. You almost have to pay for the extra night at the hotel just to do the customizing panel, which seems expensive at that point. But I might do it because it's already in my typical con plans. I actually want to get in a day early so I can bop around Orlando a little bit on Thursday. I'm going to, like, 30 minutes out from Orlando is Acme Superstore, one of my favorite toy shops to go to. I would love if there's enough people getting in early. I'd love for us to just meet up there at a particular time and just raid the place. Just like go in and say, hi, TJOmega, party of 40. That would be funny to me. And I'm sure they'd love the business. I don't know how much spending money we all want to blow before TFcon, but the option presents, right? If not, I might end up going there before I drive home on Monday, because I'm staying Sunday night too, because that's another lesson I learned. Stay the extra night after the convention so you're not driving home exhausted. Because me and a friend who went to cons forever, we did that once, and she nearly fell asleep at the wheel. So that's a no. That's a no. We're not doing that. So I'm going to be there the day before and the day after. So I think that's the easier meetup time if we want to do something like that. I don't know. But point being, I'm looking forward to actually being there. I don't know what exactly I'm doing there yet. Because right now, if I click on the schedule, it's for TFcon Chicago from last year. So I'm waiting on the schedule. This will be updated probably next month. Probably not going to know till like just a few weeks out from the con. So as far as this goes, just kind of gives me an idea, like the loose idea of what they do there. There's the customizing class at 9 in the morning, and then 5 p.m. they do ticket registration. You can't even pick up your premium tickets until super late. Yeah, there's not a lot going on first day, but hangout time. I want hangout time, so that'll be fine for that. And then Saturday is the big day for any convention. Saturday is the big day. There's, and then Sunday is pretty loaded too. We're judging by the last con they did. So don't expect me like on this. They ran a 9 p.m. after party. I might go to hang out. I don't drink though, so don't count on me to be like a social drinker or anything. But this is just giving you a rough idea of what's going on. And obviously, it's a pretty loaded con for was essentially 2 days. Let's see the one we do know. What we do know is the guests. So the guest list is fun so far, and TFcon is really good about just like having a ton of Transformer guests and just like dripping them out a little bit at a time. The ones they already have announced. Dan Gilvezan, the voice of Bumblebee. So some of the VAs on this are actually exciting to me, not only because the G1 cast, but also because I have a particular thing. We'll get to that here in a bit. So I'm also like waiting for the autograph prices to go up, because they have ones from I know ones from previous conventions. They run, like, I've seen them run anywhere between $25 and $50 depending on the guests. So we'll see how that turns out. That might be where a chunk of my budget goes, because I'm going to get a lot signed. David Sobolov. Shockwave, Blitzwing, not my Blitzwing, but a Blitzwing. Of course, Depth Charge. Yeah, I'm looking forward to, he should be cool to meet. He should actually be cool to meet, because he's done some he plays good characters. Gary Chalk. Oh, yes. I am looking for that. I'm trying to figure out exactly what I want Gary to sign, because I typically get action figures signed, but I prefer I prefer to get like carded action figures signed, not boxed. Boxed is harder to keep on display and show off. But I figure if it's on a card, then I can hang it up on a wall somewhere. I can hang it with if I go one below, I see Richard Newman is also on the guest list. I have an unopened vintage Rhinox. Not a knockoff, not a reissue, the legit original Rhinox toy I have on card. He is absolutely going to be signing that for me, and I am super excited for that. Victor Caroli, the narrator from Generation 1. So him and Dan are the two I'm looking forward to, because I have a DVD of the original Transformers movie with the original cover art and everything. And that is currently been signed. I got it. I took it to BotCon 2010 as like a big group signature thing. And that is signed by Paul Eiding, Perceptor, Stan Bush, and Peter Cullen. So I've always wanted to get more signatures added to that DVD. And I know in Orlando, I'm at least going to get 2 more. I am really hoping the guest list starts including some of the other mainstays to these types of conventions. Sue Blue, who was actually supposed to be at a local con in my area, but the venue was still damaged from the hurricane last year, so they had to postpone and they couldn't rebook her, which is a shame, because I have so much respect for her as a voice actress and a director. She's directed amazing animations. So I really wanted to meet her. Hopefully that she ends up on the list somewhere. And then Greg Berger always ends up on these guest lists at some point, so I would not be surprised to see his name pop up. Basically, just the more VAs from that movie I can add to that cover, the happier I am going to be. So I'm hoping for more G1s. But Beast Wars casts are fun too. I think the Beast Wars cast is limited to the ones that have relocated to the US for work. The ones still in Canada, like Scott McNeil, I am not counting on. But that does raise the potential of David Kay showing up. He usually shows up to TFcons. So fingers crossed, and we'll see. Bob Budiansky, I've met him. He signed the Car Wash of Doom for me, which he not only wrote, but did the artwork for on the cover. So twofer. Alex Milne, great artist. Love to see that. Casey Cooler. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not going to try. One of those might be correct. Another comic book artist. For a TFcon, this is actually a thin guest list. So I'm expecting several more names to drop at some point. It's good that they're doing this in October, because getting people to voluntarily come to Florida in the dead of summer, that's a little bit, yeah. That's a little bit, yeah. All right, and the usual stuff here. Waiting to find out what the exclusive is going to be, because some third party always does something crazy for TFcon. I'm actually kind of happy because last year's exclusive was supposed to be the last time they did it here in Orlando. The exclusive was supposed to be like the prototype color for RC. I don't like that one. I didn't like how it looked. I didn't want that to be the exclusive I was stuck getting. We're not going to talk about that, but I'm confident something will pop up that I really, really want to get. I just saw one of the companies. I think it was the Mastermind Chrome Dome redone as Transtech Cheetor. I want that. I want that. But yeah, basically I'm just kind of waiting and seeing what else we're gonna get. There is a few points of there's a few points of concern here. So there is a little bit of controversy when it comes to TFcon this year, and that's because it is located in Florida. Because since announcing the con, the state has made some, frankly, draconian laws based mostly on fear and ignorance and not actual evidence that things needed to be illegal. Point being, it's made things kind of unsafe and uncertain for cons. And for a while, TFcon was a little bit silent on this, but they have actually made like a statement about it. So they have announced that like bathrooms are safe for everyone because the law doesn't apply to private businesses, which TFcon is technically a private business. They've considered that the cosplay is not going to break any Florida laws. There's no harassment allowed on site for TFcon, and they did welcome anyone from the LGBTQ plus that wanted a refund to get a refund. So I think they did all the right things that they could do given the situation. So let's keep a few things in mind. I'm giving TFcon the benefit of the doubt in all this for a few reasons. Number one, conventions like this you have to book years in advance. Like the last time Team Dynamite, the people who do MetroCon, the last time they booked a hotel convention, they had to book it 2 years in advance. And when their ticket sale, no one went to that con, by the way. And even with their ticket sales like being like dead, they still had to put on the convention because they have a contract with the hotel to host the convention and run it no matter what. Because the con is counting on those hotels to sell rooms. So they didn't have a choice. If they canceled the con, they're in breach of contract. There could be legal ramifications, and they're out a lot of more money than they would be if they, just on the cancellation alone. Keep in mind, a lot of these fan-run conventions can go year to year, con to con. When a con like this has to cancel a year, it's a huge blow to their budget. And in some cases, you won't even see the convention come around next year because they're out all the money they were counting on to run the next one. TFcon isn't quite like that. Obviously, they canceled the one in 2020 for Orlando, and they are still fine. But it could not have been an easy decision, and I'm sure the organizers lost a ton of money on doing it. But you had to do what you had to do in that year. So they're stuck in. They can't just move or cancel the convention. So they're working within that. They're also limited. So MetroCon, for instance, had rules that kind of worked around this. None of their shows were sexual in nature, so anything cross-dressing is fine. And none of the panels or none of the guests were putting on like adult-themed shows, so no cross-dressing was breaking any law there. So there was no concern. They just kind of went and did whatever, and everything was fine. For the bathroom situation, they designated there were male and female bathrooms, but there were also bathrooms that were just marked with urinal, without urinal. Now, the difference is TFcon Orlando is happening in a hotel. They haven't rented out the entire space. Some of the space is still public or owned by the hotel itself and is going to be under the jurisdiction of Florida law. So they will have some limited control over the space, but there is some areas they are just not going to be able to do. So I I'm going to try and make myself available in those situations. If you are in the LGBT and you're going to TFcon, you don't feel safe going back to your room alone or anything like that, because admittedly, my state is kind of hostile toward that. I have no problem accompanying you back to your room and back, provided I'm not like running around with my head cut off. I'm going to try to leave my camera at home and just go as a guest and not do any kind of press work, not try to get content for the channel. I'll do a recap and a report when I get back, but I'll mostly be in photos or like videos that I took with my phone. I don't want to haul around a camera all day. I just kind of want to go to a convention, meet people, and have fun, and not make a working vacation out of it. So that is my stance on that. I think TFcon's doing the best they can, given a really bad situation. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt and saying they're doing everything they can do. And then just beyond that, it's just wait and see for what is going on. We've got a month and a half to go. There's lots of stuff that they probably have not announced yet. Probably a ton more guests that we're going to hear about. And yeah, I've got plenty of time to plan. And yeah, if you're going to be there, let me know in the comments below. I don't know if we're going to do any kind of like official TJOmega meetup, but it'd be kind of cool to see how viable it is. So let me know, and hopefully I will see you there. And hopefully I will see you next time.
I'm like, I think you guys got this. I will back away, and I will see you all day.
You've got this handled.
Alafi's like, really? You're not gonna help me? Like, it's fine now.
It's like these disgusting creatures breathing down my neck, and you're all just like, I believe in you. You got this.
All right, you seem to have this. 5 minutes.